Hello and welcome to a little series I'm going to be putting up here called This Week in Archeage. My name is Maverick. I'm a player on the Olo server. I'm doing this more to vent and rant over anything else about what happens in Archeage on a week-to-week basis. You may notice, those that don't have adblock, I'm not advertising this at all. I'm just doing this for my own pleasure at this point. More to try and get the anger of what happens in Archeage, mainly with the promotional development team, than actually what happens in games. So it's what's happening around, what's happening to it. This week, we're going to be talking about the Mergalution. You may be saying, what the fuck's a Mergalution? Trion has been looking at the servers for quite some time. After the initial screw up of releasing too many servers, in my opinion, by you know, 2 or 3, they have decided now that they need to fix the low population on certain servers. To do this, they're looking at merging 2 or more servers together onto a clean server. And because it's onto a clean server, they believe this is not a merger, but an evolution of servers. Bullshit. It's a merger. It just so happens that the merger is happening onto a clean server. What does this mean, though? There's many problems that we can go through, from if someone has the same character name as you, one of the two of you may be forced to change your character names. You may lose the name of your character, so some people hold that quite dear. You'll lose your reputation and your guild name will disappear, so if someone wants to grief you, your guild name could be taken out from under you. Don't mind me if I'm not looking at the camera, if I'm looking at the screen. But the main biggest problem that I can see, and it's got a real crippling part to it, what happens when you wipe a server? All the land disappears, doesn't it? Well, what is going to happen to all those landowners? They're going to lose all the land they have. Period. Simple. This is the one problem why mergers are a bad idea on Archeage. If it wasn't for land, this wouldn't be such a bad idea. We can kind of get over the fact, okay, I might lose my character name. Except for roleplay servers, which I can understand Trion being up in arms about for a merger, because they are the roleplay server of NA. But, you know, we can deal with that, and we could kind of deal with having to get a new guild name. We'd have to remake our reputation from square one. But the land, you have to take it away to do a merge. It's just going to disappear. There's no other way to get around it. So, what this means for landowners is that Trion is going to take your land, they're going to put it into an RNG box, and they're going to say good luck. The land rush is either going to help you tons, very minimal, especially if you're not using any kind of hacks or you have a beast machine that allows you to load in 5 to 10 seconds. You're going to get the same of what you've got now, which is in fact even a lesser chance. Same number, bit more of a chance, but where they are now, good luck for those that own anything more than 2 plots. And you're going to have and the last one is you're going to have less, if not none, because we all know what the land rushes have been like when there's been multiple states involved. People may realize on day one the common idea for snapping up land was to put down unbuilt 15 Gilder Star houses. While it's not so much of an issue now, sorry, my apologies, because you're going to have 2 unbuilt properties, Trion has been trying to look at how do we affect landowners less with their properties. What they want to try and do, from what I've been hearing, seeing, reading, is they're going to pack up the properties you have as built scrolls. So when you put them down, they're built. What happens to all the land barons, which I'm not bashing at this point, they worked hard to get the land they have. They're going to have 20, 25 plots in their inventory that are built, and 9 times out of 10, they will not shy away from the idea of purchasing over 1,000 tax certificates off the marketplace. They'll have no problem with that. So this merger doesn't hurt land barons too much. In fact, it may actually allow them to get the land where they want it. They might be, the land barons themselves might be fighting over prime land. That's about it. But those like myself and everyone else in the guild who refuse to use any kind of hacks, who may not have the best machine or loading time, who has an Australian ping, guilty, so trying to combat other people for land all at the same time, I'm already at a disadvantage. I'm going to end up with less. Now, that same thread, 90% of people have already said, around 90. I'm not going to go counting 200 pages of it. I went to about 20. And, 9 out of every 10 posts was, I will leave if you take my land. Even on the low pop servers, they're saying this. You take my land, I take my subscriptions, and I go elsewhere. And I feel for them, and I'd be the same way. Now, I'm glad. I'm playing on Olo, and it's not being looked at. But now that they're looking at this, if it happens to one server or two servers, it's only a matter of time before it's going to affect all of them. And they're eventually just going to start condensing them down and down, because as soon as they do this condense, and people leave, they're going to need to do it again in order to get that population onto a server that's large enough in order to get a sustainable economy. It's just going to keep happening. To me, this is a game killer. Like, this will, if done even properly, even the way they intend, where it hurts the lowest amount of people, there's going to be so many people leaving the game that they're going to end up with 6 servers with a population for 3, and then they're going to have 3 servers with a population for 1.5, and then they'll merge to one server, and people will be like, well, even Trion would have to be sitting there going, we've only got 1 server up, what's the point? This isn't economically viable anymore. A note to Trion Brass on this one as well. He had on the, I think it was on the first page, saying, change is hard. Capital letters. I think it was might be on the main, the first post, actually, his main post on the thread. Change is not hard. Change is always refused if it is not in our best interest. It's a simple thing. If people can come up with some reason why this change is going to affect them negatively, they're not going to want it. Pure and simple. You could give me a high population server, but if you're going to take my land away from me, well, that's a big negative that I've been working on for 8 months or longer. I've been here since day 1. I've gone from 2 plots to 4 to 6 to 7 to 9 to 8. While trying to sell and shift properties around, you lose some when if you're not terribly careful. It's taken me months to get what I need, and I still haven't got what I want. And you're going to take away that progress? I don't think so. No. If you're going to do that, I'll take my subscription. I'll go play, I don't know, Black Desert. Or I might go throw $100 at Flumin Star Citizen again, because that game is looking amazing. Or, hell, I might go play Haven and Hearth, the little browser top-down game, which, encourages farming better than this game. I'll just take my money and go elsewhere if you piss me off. Which has been what's been happening. So what should you do? What should Trion do? Well, let's not jump 3 hurdles too quickly. 3 hurdles. 3 hurdles. Well, 1, advertise. Come on. Crowlin even said that they were going to spend as much money or as much that they needed to do in order to advertise the game to get people to start playing. Okay, we had newbies coming, but I hadn't seen these advertisements at all. People have asked around, friends from university and work, never seen them. In fact, they've seen more negative press about Archeage than anything else because of the bungles that Trion has done in the last 9 months. Your advertisement that you've had has been what you haven't been paying for positive advertisements, is that your screw-ups have been getting you negative press. This is bad. But you need to advertise the game. Get it out there. Guild Wars 2 is still running advertisements. This game's been out for years. They're finally coming out with an expansion pack. But that's still being advertised since day 1. Get your adverts out. Number 2, develop a goddamn character transfer system. If it's really that difficult, I don't know how it could be that difficult. You take the play properties of one character, you leave all of his freaking land behind, you take everything that's in his inventory and his warehouse, and he pays for it to go from one server to another. It's not that difficult. You're blowing this out of proportion. Alright? If he's got stuff in chests and stuff on land that he hasn't picked up, then he loses it when he pays for his server transfer. It's gone. But if it's in his inventory, it's in his warehouse, then there's no issue. It's key to his character. It shouldn't be that hard. I reckon you're overcomplicating the issue. If games like Guild Wars that have the same idea without the land, so take out the land aspect, have a warehouse, an email system and all that, and a server transfer is done automatically through a paid thing on the Black Lion shop, then you should be able to do it too in your marketplace. Or on the account support page. It shouldn't be that difficult. And I'd be looking at Excel saying it's bullshit. You just don't want to spend the time and effort to develop it. But you need to develop this thing. And here's what you need to do. You need to offer free transfers from high pop servers to low pop servers, and paid ones, an Apex, 1250 credit, from a low pop server to a high pop server. Wait a month and see what happens. If people go from high pop to low pop, problem solved. If people go from low pop to high pop, then you can see that people are willing to pay to get onto the servers that are developed. And you can sit down with the rest of them, give them a bit of compensation for it, or turn around and just go, look, we need to close down this server. There's land everywhere because people have transferred. We're gonna, go and pick a server. Now is the time. Pack up your stuff and go. And deal with it, unfortunately. But it's going to affect less people that way. It's harsh. Give them a compensation. That would be nice. If you can pack up their land as it is built, that'd be nice. I mean, this entire problem would be here if we had instant housing, but let's not argue that point. That's for another day. But, give them something, the incentive to go over to these high pop servers that are still established and close down these crummy servers if they exist. But those that I've asked would actually rather stay there at this point. So I don't think there's as much of a problem as Trion likes to blow out of proportion. Get that done. Wait a month. See what happens. And if there's still a problem, then we can come back and reevaluate later. And the third one, and this is crucial, you need to ask the people. You need a poll. You need a voting NPC in-game, or the ability to vote on your account overview page with a question and a yes or no or other or something. You need something to get actual physical numbers, rather than just saying that there's a silent minority that wants mergers or a vocal majority that doesn't want mergers. We need numbers, and there's nothing better to do than asking the people to vote. And before you say anything else, that the sample size will never be large enough, for every one person that says something positive or negative, there is most likely 10 other people thinking exactly the same thing that just can't be bothered dealing with the politics of game development as a player. If one person says that they will quit if you take their land away, there's probably 10 more thinking the same thing. Now, the fact there's 80% of that thread saying to people that they will quit if they see other servers get merged, you should panic and you should actually think about not doing it. It's just that crystal clear. I'm done. That's my 2 cents for Trion. Comments down below if you want to leave something. Go ahead and rant. I'm not going to say anything else in that one. I'm just going to take the rest of the week off and go do my trade runs in my timber coop. This is Maverick signing off. I'll see you next week. If there's something you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment section, whether it be like a tutorial on something or whatever, I don't mind. But just leave it in the comment section and I'll schedule it for a video done in a later week. Ciao.